Lately on Woodworking with Wes, we've been building a kitchen, and in the process of doing that kitchen, I ran into a problem. Building the doors and drawer faces, my router broke. I want to talk about what I had to learn to replace it. As a professional woodworker, one of the names you become familiar with is Porter Cable. They had great handheld power tools, one of them being routers. I used them for years. When mine broke and I went to replace it, I found it was a little more difficult to find Porter Cable, and so I started to investigate. I found that Porter Cable isn't owned by the original company anymore, and they only produce just a few tools. If you want a really good history on Porter Cable, Stumpy Nubs has a great video, and I watched his video and learned a lot from it. Anyway, one of the things that I learned is that through the course of buying and selling different companies, Porter Cable almost disappeared and then came back a little bit later just as a brand name. Well, mine broke, and so I started looking at the quality of the router. It has some issues about this cap fell off. When I went to replace the cap, part of the construction of this router gave me some questions. So I did some more investigation. I found in my investigation that the Porter Cable had been purchased by Stanley Black & Decker. Stanley Black & Decker is the parent company of many different kinds of tools, but they don't put a lot of emphasis on their Porter Cable brand. One other brand that they have is DeWalt. Now, I own two other DeWalt routers, and they're great routers. So I decided I would check out the DeWalt that would replace this router. The Porter Cable router that I'm replacing is 1 3/4 horse router. I checked on Amazon. They have a 1 3/4 DeWalt router. So I purchased it from Amazon. Let's open it up, take a look. Okay. I love opening up new tools. It's like Christmas every day. Okay, here we are. Let's take a look. By the way, while I was investigating, or while I was getting ready to purchase, I looked at the reviews. There are over 2,000 reviews for this particular router. 80% of them are 5-star reviews. That's pretty good. And like I say, I already own 2 of them, and I like them, so this was not a hard choice for me to make. Okay. Well, the packaging is very good. It held it in place really nice. Okay, here's our new router. Just like that, very compact. Good handholds on both sides. I like the fact that DeWalt puts their cords separate. I can take the cord off when I disconnect and change router bits, get it out of the way, and it makes it easy to change the router bits. Okay, let's take a look. Let's go ahead and put one of the router bits in that I'll be using. I'll be using this to make my stiles and rails for my doors. This is the 1/2-inch collet that goes in here, and our 1/2-inch shank for our router bit. Fits in like that. Here's our tools for tightening in our router bit. Okay, let's go like that. Oop, other way around. Okay, there we go. Our router bit's all tightened in. In order to mount this on our router table, this plastic face here needs to take off, and then I need to mount this collar to the underneath side of my router table, just like that one. Let's go ahead and get that far and take a look. I have the collar now mounted to the underneath side of my router table, and I have our bit in. So let's go ahead, slide the motor into the collar, click. It has 2 little tabs here. That releases, that releases the motor nice and easy. I like that. I have the same thing on my little handheld router. I really like it. Okay, lock down, and then let's take a look at the top. Okay, there's our router bit sticking up out of the top. I had to drill new holes for the new collar They didn't line up exactly the same. And then our fence will go on and clamp down when it's ready, and we'll be able to pick up right where we left off, making doors and drawer faces. Well, with our new router installed, we're ready to make those doors that I was talking about for our kitchen. I want you to stay tuned to that video. It's going to be great, and we'll see you then on Woodworking with Wes.